Good evening and welcome to Live United. Live United is a program hosted by Monadnock United Way that highlights the wonderful services and programs being offered in the Monadnock region to make life better for our citizens and neighbors. This evening I have Susan Ashworth, Director of Community Relations from Home Healthcare Hospice and Community Services, and tonight she'll be talking about the Meals on Wheels program at HCS. Welcome, Susan.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thanks for being here.
I appreciate the opportunity.
So how long have you been with HCS?
I have been with Home Healthcare Hospice and Community Services for nearly 40 years.
Wow. Wow, MVP right here. And so through your role as a Director of Community Relations, you also oversee some direct service programs, is that right?
Yes, in fact, I started my career with HCS as the director of the Friendly Meals and the Meals on Wheels program. So the Meals on Wheels program is very near and dear to my heart.
It sounds like it. And so tell me more about the Meals on Wheels program. How did it get started?
Well, the Meals on Wheels program was the first program that I started with when I came to HCS. And in fact, there wasn't a Meals on Wheels program. There was a very small volunteer effort. But my first task was to get the Meals on Wheels program going in Keene and Cheshire County on a larger scale. So the first town that we were able to reach out to was Hinsdale, but after we got going in Keene.
Oh, great. And so what does the Meals on Wheels program entail? What kind of services does it provide?
Well, the Meals on Wheels is actually a hot meal delivered near noontime, Monday through Friday. Lots of times people say, oh, it's just a meal, but it is so much more than a meal. It really is an opportunity for people to chat with someone during the day and decrease their social isolation. Sometimes the driver is the only person that that individual will see during the day, particularly in our rural areas. And it's also a daily safety check. So the driver is coming in, making sure there's heat in the house, making sure that the person is all right. So there's a three-pronged approach: the meal, the safety check, and the socialization with the Meals on Wheels program.
Oh, great. Sounds like, not just chicken soup, but chicken soup for the soul, right?
Exactly.
So what kind of people receive Meals on Wheels? It sounds like a lot of folks who might live alone. What other kind of characteristics might fall into the typical Meals on Wheels client?
Well, most of the people do live alone, and most are women, and most are over the age of 75. The highest percentage over 80 years old. So they're your friends and neighbors, the people that maybe you saw at the post office, at the library, who were school teachers and town clerks, and people that you socialized with. Maybe you don't see them all that often, and that's because they are homebound, either on a short-term basis or because of a chronic illness. And they are receiving Meals on Wheels so that they can stay independent, stay in their home, and stay in their community.
That's such an important service. We want to know that our homebound seniors are being taken care of, and it's so wonderful that Meals on Wheels is there to provide that three-pronged approach to care.
Yes, and I think the other important point for us as taxpayers is that for one day in a hospital, we can provide 1 year service, Meals on Wheels. So if someone is on Meals on Wheels and it's preventing them from malnutrition or dehydration, or we find someone who needs extra assistance because the driver's going in on a daily basis, and we prevent a hospitalization, we are really saving everybody money as well as maintaining the quality of life for that individual.
Wow, what a remarkable statistic. So could you repeat that again? 1 day?
Yes, 1 day in the hospital is equal to 1 year of Meals on Wheels delivery.
Wow, so that sounds like a pretty good investment for the local taxpayer to know that these services are efficient and really making an impact.
Yes, indeed.
Very important. So these meals are delivered to homebound seniors. Who delivers them? Who are the drivers of these Meals on Wheels trucks?
Well, we have a variety of ways that Meals on Wheels get to our 15 towns, and it's important to note that we're delivering about 400 to 400 people every single day.
Wow.
And over the course of a year, 100,000 meals are delivered. So, in order to get all of those meals delivered in a timely way, we have drivers who get a small stipend, and they deliver every single day. Some of our rural towns, we're very proud that we have volunteers, and a volunteer may deliver once a week or they may deliver once a month. There's maybe 20 volunteers who, in a rotation, make sure that they get Meals on Wheels delivered in their community. And then for some of the very large routes, we have hotshot trucks. And that's a truck that has a heated back and a refrigerated back so that the meals are sure to be delivered in a safe manner. And when a person gets their meal, it is ready to eat.
Wow, what a great system. Nice coordinated transportation system. And seems like you're reaching so many people. 400 meals in one day, you said.
Exactly. Every single day when the trucks leave. In fact, the trucks leave about 10:30 in the morning to start deliveries in some of the very rural towns that we have. And it's a hot meal, but then there's a bag that contains milk, dessert, bread. So it can be a complete meal for individuals who are not able to stand long enough to prepare a meal. They may be wheelchair bound and their home is not adapted. Perhaps they have arthritis and they are not able to open a can or a jar. And then people with low vision can't see the stove. They don't know that the stove is on or what temperature it's on. So the Meals on Wheels is a great way to make sure seniors are getting good nutrition.
And how is the nutrition content, or how are the meals planned? How are they chosen to be nutritious, and can you meet special dietary needs?
Yes, we can. The meals are planned a month in advance, and we have a dietitian review them to make sure that they are meeting the minimum daily standards for seniors over 60, and for people who are diabetic, for those who may have gluten-free diets or maybe vegetarian, we do have those offerings that we can put up.
Great, meals for everyone.
In addition, we also have breakfast meals. So for the seniors who are most at risk, perhaps they need to take medication when they get up and they need something that's more or less a grab and go, we have breakfast meals for those seniors.
And are those delivered at the same time as the other meals, or is it an additional delivery?
No, it's delivered with their noontime, so they have it whenever they get up in the morning and it's ready to go for them.
Oh, great. How convenient. That's great. So you had mentioned a little while ago about about taxpayers paying into this. So that begs the question, how is Meals on Wheels funded? Where does funding come from?
Meals on Wheels is funded by the Older Americans Act, which is a federal act looking to provide a dignified way for seniors to have good nutrition. So it funds not only the Meals on Wheels, but the Friendly Meals dining rooms. And there's no income requirements for the program. It simply is that you are over 60 and have a medical need for the Meals on Wheels, that you are homebound, and this is going to improve your quality of life.
And so is there any way, if somebody was interested in donating to Meals on Wheels, are donations accepted? How would one go about contributing to Meals on Wheels?
Yes, donations are very much appreciated because the federal funding nationwide only covers about 19% of the cost of the meal.
Wow.
So locally, we ask cities and towns to support the program for their elderly residents. We have Monadnock United Way funding that's extremely important to us. Participants can donate to the program. There's a confidential donation envelope that's put in with their meal every week, and they can donate what they feel they can afford. And during the month of March, we're doing March for Meals. And it doesn't mean in this cold weather that you have to get out and put your boots on. It means that we're asking people to consider supporting the Meals on Wheels program by sending a donation to us, or there are a number of restaurants in the area that are going to be donating a portion of the proceeds from either a sandwich or a day's tip jar or a meal to the Meals on Wheels program. So those opportunities will be listed on the website for HCS, which is hcsservices.org, and people can know when they can help us out, because you just never know when you might need Meals on Wheels for a family member, grandma, an aunt, and it is so incredibly helpful to have that meal taken care of and that daily check for the individual.
Sure. And offhand, do you happen to know any of the restaurants that'll be or businesses that will be supporting March for Meals this month?
Yes, the Works Cafe is going to be donating proceeds from a sandwich that is Meals on Wheels. The Farm Cafe at the Toadstool and Margaritas is going to be doing something for us, as well as Panera. And for some of those, you do need a flyer, so please go to our website and find out the days and what needs to happen so that you can get a good meal yourself and support some of these local businesses and support Meals on Wheels.
Great. It's so good to hear the local community supporting such an important program through their day-to-day business.
Yes.
That's
We're
great.
Very, very grateful for the people who volunteer to help us, as well as these businesses.
Yeah, and so Susan, you had shared a couple of photos with us, so we'd like to show to the audience. So I was wondering if you just want to go through those photos and put a face to some of the Meals on Wheels recipients.
Certainly.
Yeah.
The Meals on Wheels is one of the programs of Home Healthcare, Hospice, and Community Services. So when people come on Meals on Wheels, we not only look at what their nutritional needs are, but also what other services they might need to help them stay in their home. And this is talking about our Meals on Wheels program. We've delivered meals to millions of people since 1977, and last year our champion for the program was Dan Mitchell, shown here delivering to one of our Meals on Wheels recipients, and you can see the hot meal and the bag of cold goodies. And I will point out that we even have volunteers who decorate the bags so that everyone gets a cheery greeting with their Meals on Wheels. Oh, this is taking us back in history. We've been actually delivering Meals on Wheels since the early 70s, and this was a station wagon that we had at that time when we were just getting started at the Unitarian Church here in Keene.
Oh, wow.
And this is what delivery looks like today on our longer routes. This is one of our hotshot trucks with our driver, and the back has a heated compartment so that meals come to participants nice and hot, and there's also a refrigerated back so that the cold food stays cold. And again, this is some of our delivery. In the past, this was the millionth meal that was delivered in the 90s to one of our participants, who at the time was also a board member. So again, we never know who might need Meals on Wheels, and we deliver to everyone who has that need, regardless of what their income may be. And Meals on Wheels today, making sure that people get the service. It can be not only for people who are single, but people who are caring for a family member. So if a husband is caring for a wife or vice versa, that elderly caregiver sometimes is so overwhelmed that having a meal come to both is exactly what the doctor ordered to help them get through the day. Another one of our celebrity people last year for March for Meals was our State Senator Molly Kelly, and our City Councilor Steve Hooper delivering and seeing what the program is all about. So again, we encourage people to go to our website to get involved with March for Meals so that this program can continue to serve those 400 people a day.
Well, great. Thank you for sharing those photos, Susan. Those were really telling, and especially the throwback pictures compared to what we have today. I bet the hotshot truck is a little bit more well equipped than the station wagon was.
Yes, indeed. We have Yankee ingenuity that went on in those early days. We used to heat bricks in the oven and put them in the bottom of the delivery containers. So the hotshot truck is a great improvement.
I bet. I bet. Wow, how times have changed.
We have.
I was wondering, because this program is so popular, is there a waiting list for Meals on Wheels?
There is not. We, thanks to the many sources of funding we have right now, are able to serve everyone who is eligible for the program. And I probably should let you know who is eligible to receive Meals on Wheels. So generally it's people who are over 60, but people who are disabled can also receive the program. The requirement is that you be homebound, and if you're under 60, there are income criteria. But we have someone go in and do what we call a nutrition risk assessment so that people are not using this as a takeout service.
Right.
They really do need the service because of some disability or chronic condition that they have.
And what happens if someone is not eligible for the program, but they still feel that they might need support with their nutrition? Does HCS provide referral services or?
Yes, there's a couple of things that happen. If someone is not eligible, perhaps they're able to drive, they're able to get out and about, we encourage them to come to the Friendly Meals, because the Friendly Meals is a dining room where seniors can enjoy a hot meal at noontime. And our dining rooms are here in Keene, in Hinsdale, and in Troy. So people can come, socialize with others, and have the really neat opportunity to meet new people. And I should say that that's available on a donation basis, as well as the Meals on Wheels donation. So seniors who perhaps are pinching their pennies don't need to worry about, gee, I can't afford the Friendly Meals or the Meals on Wheels. When people come to the Friendly Meals, it's a bottomless cup of coffee, as well as the good nutrition and the dessert and a full course meal. If someone was not able or did not want to come to the Friendly Meals, they would be encouraged to look at other food pantries and other resources that are available in our community.
It's so great to hear that HCS is offering a variety of programs for seniors, whether they're homebound or not, and all of them include that social health aspect, which we all know is so important to one's overall health and well-being.
Yes, I think sometimes that's the best medicine,
Yes.
is to come in, and people might be feeling a bit down because of this weather, or they're not able to get out. Here in Keene particularly, the Friendly Bus is available to bring people to the Garden Cafe. So it's an opportunity to get up in the morning, get ready to roll, get on the bus, and then come to the Garden Cafe.
And can you just talk a little bit more about the Friendly Bus? I know that's another program that Home Health Care, Hospice, and Community Services offers.
The Friendly Bus is available in Keene for people to get to grocery shopping, medical appointments, visiting friends, really any place that people would like to go within the city limits. They can hop on the Friendly Bus and get to where they need to go with an appointment. It is a door-to-door service, so the Friendly Bus pulls up at a person's door. The driver will help the individual to get into the vehicle. The vehicles have lifts, so if someone is in a wheelchair or they can't make the first step, they can get onto the bus and get where they need to go. So if someone is on Meals on Wheels, they're homebound, but that doesn't mean that they shouldn't get out to get to their medical appointments or to perhaps once in a while visit a friend. So the Friendly Bus is available to help get them to those important medical and therapy appointments, and the driver lends that helping hand.
Wonderful. And what's the cost to ride the Friendly Bus?
The Friendly Bus is also a donation for people over 60. So there's a box there, and we gratefully accept donations.
Oh, wonderful. From it sounds like so many different areas of a senior's well-being are being covered through programs like Meals on Wheels. It's wonderful.
I think the neat thing about Meals on Wheels is very often seniors, particularly in this area, don't want to accept help. They don't want to have someone coming into their home. They really feel that they want to stay independent. But Meals on Wheels is an opportunity for seniors to perhaps step a toe in the door, if you will, just try out a service. And the driver can make sure that the person is okay by just coming to the door and leaving a meal with them and saying hello, or can go through the door and leave it by their comfy chair. But it's a first opportunity for a senior to be introduced to services that might down the road be really necessary. So every single year we have an outreach worker visit our participants and ask how things are going. Does the Meal on Wheels still meet their needs? Do they need additional services? So at that time, the outreach worker can indicate that there's homemaker services available, nursing services, adult day services, and a person might be willing to accept some additional care that will allow them to stay independent at home.
Very important things. You had shared with me a little while ago this really special, sweet story about a personal experience you've had with Meals on Wheels and kind of a surprise that you encountered when delivering a meal. Would you mind sharing that?
Oh, I'd love to. One of my favorite things about being involved with the Meals on Wheels program and HCS over the years is the opportunity to interact with so many wonderful people and to actually get out and deliver services myself. So one day I was delivering Meals on Wheels because one of our regular drivers was not available, and I looked at the route sheet and one of the names seemed very familiar to me, but I couldn't quite place the person. So I delivered. And when I got to this house, I walked in and immediately I realized that it was a former teacher of mine. So we never know who we're going to encounter. And I think it points out that Meals on Wheels is available to everyone in our community. It could be someone who was a community leader, and it could be someone who really needs assistance all along in life. But the Meals on Wheels program is there to provide dignity and comfort to people so that they can remain as active community members throughout their life and hopefully in their home as long as they possibly can. It really, as I said, gives people not only a meal, but great peace of mind. Most people say, it is my main meal of the day, and having that daily check makes me feel safer at home.
Oh, such a vital service or services that are coming from the Meals on Wheels program, as well as all the other complementary programs that Home Healthcare Hospice and Community Services is offering. And all of these programs are, in the context of the greater continuum of care that's offered through different programs in the Monadnock region. So it's great to see the collaboration between HCS and so many other nonprofits to really, make sure our seniors, our friends and neighbors are being taken care of.
Exactly. Yes, it is.
Yeah, so Susan, as we wrap up this interview, are there any final comments you'd like to make or calls for support from volunteers that you'd like to share with our audience tonight?
Well, we would very much like people to say hello to elders who are friends and neighbors and help with socialization. We want people to join our March for Meals and support the program. And if you have an elderly friend or neighbor who you think is reluctant to try Meals on Wheels, please have them give us a call. Please give us a call to find out how you can encourage them to take advantage of this program that will help them stay living as their neighbor in their own home for as long as possible.
Great. And just for people who might not know it, what's that number that they can call to reach home health care, hospice, and community services?
It's 352-2253. That's 352-2253.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Susan, for being on our show this evening.
Thank you.
And thank you, audience, for being with us tonight. I want to remind you all to live united, to give, to advocate, and to volunteer, and to be out there and support your community and say hi to your seniors. Have a good night.